This is some like black magic voodoo Necronomicon. Hey Marvel fans, welcome to my channel. I'm Trey Guillotine and you're watching Daily Marvels, where I've gathered some of the big Marvel news of the past week into one place just for you. Stan Lee's blood has been stolen, John Boyega could be joining the MCU, and Nicolas Cage is ready for a Ghost Rider reboot. Remember, if you like this video, to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it around so others can join in the conversation. So, as if Stan Lee didn't have enough problems with dealing with his battling pneumonia and being the target and being the victim of some scams from his agent and his nurse, there's been a lot of news, a lot of negative news happening with Stan Lee, unfortunately. But as if that weren't enough, it appears that that same people, his agent and his nurse, have tricked Stan Lee into taking his blood as if it were for a medical procedure, and they are taking the blood and making it into ink pens that are going to be very expensive ink pens to sign comic books with. So basically, these pens will literally be writing with Stan Lee's blood. What the like, part of me is definitely part of me in the back of my head is like, that would actually be kind of cool to, be writing with a pen that's Stan Lee's blood. But the bigger part of me is kind of mortified by like this is some like black magic voodoo Necronomicon, and it's just like that's just too far. That is just too weird, and that's too far. I can only think of one good reason to be stealing Stan Lee's blood, and is that if you're going to, and that's if you're going to use it to make like some kind of altered carbon human sleeve that Stan Lee's mind can be injected into so that Stan Lee lives forever. John Boyega recently revealed that he's had meetings with Marvel about joining the MCU. Many fans, including myself, think that John Boyega would be perfect in the role of Blade. But John Boyega says that as much as he would want to take on that role, he feels like taking on that role would spit in the face of Wesley Snipes. As much as I think Wesley Snipes was fantastic in all three Blade movies, as great as he was, and not only just as one of the earlier successful Marvel movies, but also as the first black Marvel superhero movie, I think Wesley Snipes did a great job. But as much as I respect Wesley Snipes for that role, I guarantee you that if and when, and I can almost promise you that when is going to happen, that Blade will be reintroduced into the MCU at some point, it's not going to be with Wesley Snipes. Marvel has shown that not only do they want to stay true to the source material of the comic books, they also don't want to continue another Marvel series that's already been going, just like they did with Spider-Man. They could have easily integrated Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man into the MCU. Wouldn't have been a big deal to do that, but they chose to start fresh with their own Spider-Man with Tom Holland, and I guarantee you that's what they're going to do with a Blade title. And there are even rumors that Blade is going to be introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. These are just rumors I have heard. I didn't really put a lot of stock into them. It's just something I heard on the vastness of the internet, is that Blade was actually going to be introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know how true that is, but it's just something I heard. But I guarantee you that Blade is a hero that they are going to bring into the MCU at some point. And I think John Boyega would be perfect for the role, not just because of his acting ability, but also because he would clearly come to this role with a lot of respect for the legacy that Wesley Snipes started with Blade. So I think it would actually be more of an insult if they left just Blade to die, if they just left Blade alone, if they didn't do it, and that if they did do it, it wasn't in, I don't want to say in respect of the past Blade movies, because ultimately they're making a new movie. They're not doing something because something was already done. They're trying to do something, their own thing, their own Blade movie. But I think if John Boyega did it, he would come with respect to continuing that legacy that Wesley Snipes started. Recently, Nicolas Cage has said that he is ready to see a rated R Ghost Rider reboot, but not with him, thank God. And personally, I think this would be a great idea. Ghost Rider is definitely a kind of hardcore character that I would love to see kind of push past the limits of a PG-13 movie or an ABC Family TV show. As we saw with Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., don't get me wrong, they did push that limit just a little bit, but they really couldn't go any further. I would love to see that hardcore Ghost Rider action in maybe even just a light R movie, just something. And I think Netflix would be the perfect place to do this. Personally, I think Marvel's Netflix series are some of the best titles that Marvel has put out, and it's because they have the room to go past that PG-13 content restriction. And I would love, just like we saw in Punisher and even parts of Daredevil season 2. Which Ghost Rider actually has an interesting presence in the MCU, because we were first introduced to Robbie Reyes as the Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought he did a fantastic job. I would love to see more of him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I would love to see more of Robbie Reyes as the Ghost Rider in general. But the way they did it, when they kind of talked about Robbie Reyes' origin story as the Ghost Rider, they kind of introduced the idea that there have been other Ghost Riders, that Robbie Reyes is one in a long line of Ghost Riders, and he actually received the Spirit of Vengeance from Johnny Blaze, who was the character that Nicolas Cage played in his Ghost Rider films. They could easily do a Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider spin-off in a Marvel Netflix series, or even the first Marvel Netflix movie, or because the next movies that are after Avengers Infinity War are more or less flashback movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp taking place right after Civil War, and then Captain Marvel taking place all the way in the 90s, it would be an easy thing to do to have a Netflix series or movie of Johnny Blaze as the Ghost Rider before he passes on the Spirit of Vengeance to Robbie Reyes. I think this would be a fantastic idea, and I think Netflix would be the perfect channel for it. What do you think of these daily Marvels, and were there any Marvel news stories you'd like to talk about? Let me know in the comments and follow me on all the internets. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it around so others can join in the conversation. If you want to read my Marvel TV shows and movie reviews, go to www.treyguillotine.com. And if you want to be featured in my next What You Gaming On video, make sure to email me at whatyougamingon@gmail.com telling me what game you're playing and what you like about it. And make sure to check out Marvel Cinematic Universe and its sister page, Marvel Cinematic Universe TV, where myself and other fans are going to be talking about our favorite aspects of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching and have fun.